Okay, here's my intro. Let me just erase that right there and go simple. My name, A-Z, no, I don't like that. A-Z-I-Z-A-K-I-B-I-B-I. Hey. I am Aziza Kibibi and welcome back to my channel. This video is a continuation of answering questions that I had requested and received on my Instagram account. So if you don't know already, I am an activist, I am a published author, I am a chef, a mom, and a survivor. So I have shared my story to help educate and raise awareness on child molestation and domestic violence and gender-based violence in general, how to prevent it, how to heal from it, and really just educating the community, educating people, and educating the public about these issues that I feel are not addressed enough. So I asked my audience, my Instagram followers, to put some questions under a specific video. If you want to go check it out yourself and see all of the amazing questions that people have asked me, go to my Instagram, look for the picture of me like this. In some form or fashion, something like that. But it has a pink background and it says, do you have a question or got a question, something to that effect. And there are some really amazing questions. So the one that I want to answer today, actually it's more than one. It's a combination of a couple, I think. I'm just gonna go ahead and address them in one video because, you know, I think it works out better. They all kind of intertwined. So the questions are, how do you stay positive? Good question. How are you confident in what you wear? Yes, I love my clothes. And how are you confident in general? But before I get into the answers to those questions, please do me the favor of subscribing and going down in the comments and just ask me a question. Contribute to the conversation. What is your input? And sharing, of course, because it spreads the awareness with everyone, somebody that you may know, and could actually help someone that you may know. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. How do I stay positive? I understand people asking me that question because the impacts of abuse are very traumatic, and a lot of people, a lot of survivors carry the trauma with them throughout their lives. And just, you know, really quick, it could take a survivor of child sexual abuse between $300,000 to $1 million to recover and heal, if they heal, across their lifetime, because trauma can affect our everyday function. It does affect our everyday function. It could affect how you see yourself, how you see the world. PTSDs manifest as nightmares and other mental health issues, multiple personality disorder. You may not have the ability to work. You may feel completely defeated and depressed, which of course, having to suffer through those memories and those experiences, it challenges your sense of self-worth. It could challenge your sense of purpose. It, of course, may have an effect on the things that you enjoy in life, which could also lead to addictions to alcohol and drugs, street drugs, opioids. And all of these things essentially just challenges a person's quality of life. So if you have a bad quality of life, how can you be happy? So I understand that question. Now, I do feel, I am of the thinking that we are responsible as individuals for our own happiness. It's no one's responsibility to make you happy. You yourself have to make yourself happy. And while you can blame someone that hurt you for your challenges in becoming happy or being happy, essentially it is up to you to make a decision to not allow that trauma or that pain that someone else inflicted on you to affect your happiness. So for me, that's what I've done. I have just decided that rather than focus on the negative, everything that I listed earlier in this video that could affect and that traumatizes and has traumatized me from my experiences as a child and as a young adult and as a teenager, rather than focus on the ills, I focus on the positives of my life. And the number one is that I'm no longer suffering. I'm not there anymore. I am not being taken advantage of. I am not being exploited. I am not being mentally and spiritually and financially abused. I am here in the now, in the present, and I have agency over my life. I have agency over my body. I can say who can or cannot touch it. And I have my children. So I could either choose to sit and relive these experiences in a negative way. And I say that because in the work that I do to raise awareness and to develop programs through my nonprofit organization, Precious Little Ladies, Inc., to help others and to prevent abuse from happening to other people, of course I have to revisit what I went through. Of course I have to transport myself to the times that I was experiencing the most pain. And I do, but I do that with a purpose. And I think that is what makes a huge difference. There is either suffering, experience negativity, going through shit, struggling, grinding for no reason, or there's doing it for a purpose. And I think when you know that you have a purpose, then it makes navigating what's uncomfortable a little better. So I'm going to take that to segue into confidence. How am I confident? One, I have accepted what has happened to me. I don't have to like it. Of course, I don't like it. I think about little Aziza and what she was going through, and I get angry, and it makes me sad. But the fact that I could look back now and move beyond it, one, makes me proud of myself. Now, I can't fit into this video every step that I took. That's going to have to be a different video. But I will do that because there are many steps. There are many steps to healing. And one of the things that I tell a lot of people is you have to be patient with yourself and you have to accept that you're going to stumble sometimes. I think that specifically survivors, we put a lot of expectations on ourselves and then we end up disappointing ourselves. So I always advise people that I speak to, don't do that. Don't do that, because for every person that is surviving some kind of childhood trauma, it essentially is a brand new experience that many people can't really give you insight into. So for me, because I have experienced probably the worst trauma that you could even imagine, I can give insight into some of the steps that I've taken, what has worked, what hasn't worked, perspective you should take, how you should approach certain things. There are a lot of things that we have in common, and I could direct you with some very good advice. And I have given advice and offered insight and guidance to navigating surviving abuse. However, it does really take a person, an individual, the actual survivor, to input their own experience. And in doing that, you have to be honest with yourself. So for me, I'm honest with myself. I know what my shortcomings were. I really have analyzed how what happened to me has affected me and the negative things that I would say it has encouraged, like whether it be bad behavior or shortcomings, or what a lot of people may call shortcomings, what has been the negative effects on me? And I'm honest with myself. So for instance, I've had serious trust issues when I first escaped my dad. I didn't believe anybody. Anything anybody said, I did not believe. I just thought everyone was liars because of my experience. How are you going to move and grow with that mentality? If you just expect and don't trust anyone, we don't live on an island on our own, right? At some point, you're going to need someone's help, someone's support, someone's encouragement, someone's resources. So you have to trust people to a certain degree. Well, I trusted no one. I looked at everyone at the corner of my eye, at the side of my eye, at the back of my head with this high, and I just didn't trust anybody. But as I grew, as I read certain books, as I meditated, as I prayed, as I listened to God, as I listened to my internal adjustment monitor, my ancestors, and I took all of this information in, I was able to identify that, yeah, there are some flaws that I have. Some ways that I processed what happened to me was not ideal. And I was honest with myself in how to approach that, how to make corrections if possible. And if it wasn't possible to make corrections, I accepted that about myself because I love myself. I love who I am, the fact that I am here, the fact that I have made it from point A to point B. I'm proud of myself. And all of that contributes to my confidence. I also acknowledge that I was a child who was broken to pieces. And though those pieces have been picked up and put back together, there are cracks still there. There are cracks still there, though they have been filled and remolded and readjusted and have created something probably completely different from what I initially would have been. They're there. But the fact that something new has been created in me, even though I will never know who the person would have been had I not been violated by my father, even though I may never know that person, I don't dwell on it, because who the person is, which is me, which is Aziza Kibibi, I am Aziza Kibibi, is who I am. And I deserve to give myself the same love, if not more love, as a person who has been broken and is on a healing journey than a person who may not have been broken at all. So I am at peace. That's what it is. And that's the key. I am at peace with what has happened to me and the effects of what has happened to me. And I have accepted whatever negative effects that may manifest in my life because of what happened to me. That, hey, it is what it is. All I can do is do what is within my power to remedy it. And I do exactly that. I do exactly that. So because I know that I have the ability to take whatever negative that may manifest in my life, in my mind, in my body, and either transform it, remedy it, or use it for something positive, makes me proud of myself. And that's really where the confidence comes from. And also, yes, definitely the peace. All of it is logic for me. It all just makes sense. I could either choose to sit there and lick my wounds and continue to suffer incidents that I had no control over by focusing on them in a very non-productive way. Or I could take what happened to me, take the information, and I could use it to fertilize something that will be extremely beautiful. So I think part of that, I'm proud of my ability to do that, and I love myself for it. And I'm proud of who the little girl, the little Aziza, has become in spite of all of the trials and tribulations. And that contributes to my confidence. And I'm not afraid to make mistakes. Change isn't made in comfort zones. I'm not afraid to be uncomfortable. I know that it's part of the process, and it's part of what's necessary to grow. So being that I embrace what comes along with this experience, negative and positive, of course I'm driving more towards the positive, there's no reason for me to look down on myself. There's no reason for me to think myself and feel myself as anything less than amazing. And that's where a lot of the confidence comes from. That also goes for what I wear. Now, for anyone, any of my followers or subscribers, and for anybody that knows me, I love expressing myself and my creativity through my clothes, through my fashion. However, there are some things that I would love to wear that just does not fit my body type. So I think what I do, well, I know what I do, is I apply the same thinking that I have used for my healing and for my ability, and in my ability in, you know, navigating this world, navigating this human experience, even though my background was less than positively fostering. I know what works for me, right? I know what works for me. I know that my boob size is ample. I know that, you know, I feel that this is with West Indian women or West Indian backgrounds. All the women in my family have a thick waist. We all have thick waists. And I know that. I understand the way clothes fall on a woman. I know about my booty. Like, because I understand myself and I accept my body for what it is and make improvements, or what some may consider improvements on what I can, what is within my power. So I am in the gym. I'm in the gym, not just for my physical presentation, but it really helps me mentally. Getting those endorphins going, it helps to clear my mind. It helps with my creative process. So I love getting in some good cardio and of course with weights and tighten up. I just like to be, what's the word? Efficient. I like to be efficient. I'm 45 years old. I do not want to be huffing and puffing going up and down some steps. I don't. So I lived a lot of my life in isolation. Now that I am free and thriving, I want to enjoy it. I want my quality of life to be the best that it could be. And part of that is staying physically healthy. So in doing that, you know, I know where my strengths and my weaknesses are, and I know what my color, what colors match my skin tone, and I like what I like. That's really what it comes down to. I don't follow trends. If I see something that is trendy that I like, then I'll get it. But I don't buy things or wear things because it's what's in at the time. So because I'm confident in my perspective and I'm confident in what I like, I don't really care what anybody else thinks. I will get dressed up to go to the supermarket if I feel like it that day. Then I'm confident in what I wear and how I wear it. But knowing what works, accepting what some people may see as flaws or may not seem as pleasing to the eye, because, you know, let's face it, I don't care how body positive you are. When it comes to the lines and dimensions of certain things, for some reason our brains are wired and our eyes are formulated to follow certain lines in the most what our brain is processing as what is pleasing or conducive. So I get why flat stomachs are appealing, just because, you know, as your eye is following the curve or whatever, how things fit or how things shape, I get that. That doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be the standard or you're anything less of a person if you don't fit that standard. And definitely as a mom, I've had to embrace the fact that I have a belly. And as a descendant of West Indian Black women, I have to embrace the fact, and I have embraced the fact, that I'm a little tick in the waist. So I just wear what works. I wear what I like. I wear things that compliment me. And I feel good. As long as I feel good, and I think that's what's important. You feel good in what you wear, then that is how you will feel confident in what you wear. And a lot of things that I wear, I feel really good in. And I love some cute, I love some cute things. And that's the other thing. Some people have this idea that you should dress for your age. I say dress for how you feel. That's really what it is. If you feel like wearing a little cute sundress that some maybe people may think, oh, it's a little too short, or because of your age or something like that, forget that. I like my legs. It's hot outside. I love some For Love and Lemons sundresses. Some of them are a little short. My butt kind of picks them up a little bit. But, you know, I remedy that with a cute pair of shorts. And I step out into the world. Step out. Just step out. Show up. And that's what I do. Thank you for your questions. That is all that I have to say for today. Keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. You know, I will answer to the best of my ability. And thank you so much. Shout out to my subscribers. And welcome to those who are new here. Be blessed, for you are a blessing. Bye.